Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about the mini Drak from Right Wing. Why you might want one and what makes it so special. So stay tuned. So guys, I'm just going to go over a little bit about the mini Drak, what my flight experience has been with it, what I've learned from it, and why I think it's one of the best airplanes on the market today. So I finished building my mini Drak about 2 weeks before Flight Fest West. I was able to maiden it. I did a live stream on the maiden, and I can put a little card up in the corner so you guys can click on that. And I also have the HD version of it as well. But the story goes like this: I maidened it, and it was a really awesome airplane to fly, and man, my heart was racing when I was flying this thing. It can get up going pretty fast. I think the fastest I've ever had this going is about 113 miles an hour. And that was out of a dive, and that was with a bit of a tailwind, but that was with the stock motor setup and everything. I was having such a great time flying it line of sight that I decided not to put any FPV on it for a while. As you guys can see, I have FPV on it right now, and I'll go over the components in just a moment. Flying this thing line of sight is quite the experience. It's you guys will know that out of all my airplanes, this is the airplane that flies the most precise. It is like flying on the edge of a razor blade. It really cuts through the wind. It stays on track like no other plane I've ever seen. When it gets up to speed, it just cuts right through the wind like it's not even there. So I probably got in before Flight Fest, probably about 5 flights with this airplane. So I took it to Flight Fest West, which was in Vallejo, California. And from the very first flight that I threw it up in the air, and I flew it about 10 to 15 times. I can't really remember how many times I flew it, but I had quite the response. After every time I flew it, somebody or 4 or 5 or 6 people would come up to me and they would start throwing the questions out. What is that airplane? Where did you get it? Did you build it yourself? I said, no, you gotta go to Right Wing. So everyone was checking it out. And then during the event, one of the worst things ever happened is that, and a lot of you guys know this from my videos, is that I had some sort of a control lock out with the mini Drak while it was going very fast. I would say upwards of 80 plus miles an hour. Basically, I rolled it inverted to basically bring it back down along the flight line, and when I was about at this spot here, all control was lost, and I was going really fast, and basically it hit straight into the nose, and when that happens, the wings come off, which it's held in by Velcro underneath here. They're designed to come off, so that's a really funny part of the design, but it works really effectively. If the nose hits the ground, all this momentum from these 2 wings are going to be sheared off. Basically, the wings hit the ground and flew back up into the air like 10 feet. It was quite the sight. So I went over, I collected all the parts and everything, and the damage wasn't too bad. I basically broke a control horn here, and what else? There was something else that was broken. This and on this servo right here, because the wing ripped out, it ripped the servo cable out of this servo. So in the future, I'm gonna actually solder in a connection point right there. So if the wings do come off, it doesn't pull the servo wire out. So I'll do that in the future. If this was any other airplane, if it was anything that was made out of EPO, even EPP can get smashed and have quite a ripping effect to it. Now this is molded EPP, which is even stronger than EPP in my opinion. I can't really back that up with any real tests or anything, but this thing is super strong. So it has full spars coming all the way down this little ridge right here, which I dug them into the foam like Johnny did from Team Legit, and they're supposed to stop here, but I actually brought these spars farther down into the nose than what is recommended, and I would recommend that as well. And you guys might notice that the airplane is also laminated as well, which I thought gave it even a little bit more strength. The EPP is designed to not need lamination, so keep that in mind. Chris doesn't recommend it. It's always an option to laminate it. It doesn't matter that it's a little bit heavier because this thing is shooting through the air so fast. I don't even think it's going to notice the extra couple of ounces from the lamination. So that was just my choice to laminate it, and I'm glad that I did because it really held the airframe together more so than if it didn't. And I went on to crash this airplane. Basically, I fixed the airplane, and I went on to fly it another 7, 8, 9 flights. I crashed it another 2 times, once into a tree, which just obliterated the thing. I put it back together, flew it again, and then as you guys know, I had a crash with another airplane, which sent this thing flying. And after all that, I mean, after almost an 80 mile an hour crash, I would say 80, 100 mile an hour crash, if you look at the nose, it's wrinkled, but it's not deformed at all. So I don't know any other airplane you can do that with. This thing is really strong. The 2 crashes, the one into the tree and the one into the ground, it destroyed 2 batteries. I'm going to show them to you right now. So these are the 2 batteries. So I'm going to show you in the camera here so you guys can see. So let me see if I can get some light on these things. So this is my 3300, and I'm not too worried about this one because it says JM on the end of this. That stands for Johnny Meg. So this is Johnny Meg's battery. Sorry, Johnny. So that was the result of the second crash. This is the one into the tree. And this is the result of the crash of the 80 mile an hour straight into the ground. This is a 5200 milliamp battery pack 4S. And look at that. It is completely smashed. Now, it doesn't look as bad now, but I actually took the battery and it was folded. It was more curved. I actually took it and bent it with my hands. And that was about as far as I could take it. So these 2 batteries are obviously decommissioned. But if you can imagine that these batteries were inside of the airplane and look this bad, and yet the nose of the airplane looks like that. That is quite incredible. So guys, like I said, I don't know of any other airplane that could handle this much. I mean, this is really almost the more than the weight of the entire airplane that's sitting up here. Took that kind of a hit, and it looks fantastic. So so that is one of the reasons that I love this airplane. I thought I had just lost my airplane when it crashed. I thought I was just gonna walk up to it and just toss it in my trunk and go away with it. So it's super strong. I can't get over how strong this airplane is. Now let's go over the flight characteristics. As I got better and better at flying this thing at Flight Fest West, I started basically taking it down the flight line, not over the runway, but just on the other side of the runway. Basically full speed runs, and every time I would hit the throttle, the thing would just stay dead straight. It wouldn't meander up or down at all. So I was pulling it down the flight line, rolling it inverted, all kinds of crazy stuff, and it just, I would get down to the end of the flight line, I would just pull back as hard as I could on the elevator, and it would book straight up into the air. I'd go like 200-300 feet up, I'd spin it around, turn it straight back down, and come back down again. And I could pull up the hardest G-out maneuvers. I'd just come straight towards the ground, pull straight up, and the thing just never flinched. It was just amazing. I mean, every time I fly it, my heart is just thumping out of my chest, and my thumbs are starting to shake because it's just that fun of an airplane. As you guys know, I fly all kinds of airplanes. This is the only airplane that gives me that type of a feeling when I fly it. So it's quite nice. Like I said, flies like it's on a razor's edge. There's all kinds of ways to describe this, but that's how I would describe it. It's on the razor's edge, and you're just keep pushing it, and it always responds the way that you want. So for you guys out there that have maybe missed a build overview, I'm actually going to be getting a second mini Drak, and I'm going to go ahead and do a build tips and tricks video with that Drak, so you guys can know some of the things that I did special to this airplane to make it what it is today. So a lot of people were asking me at Flight Fest, you know, what is my power setup, and it's basically, this is a stock right wing motor. That is the secret sauce motor. Secret sauce meaning it's 2814 1700 kV. This is a stock recommended power plant. Now when I built my large size Drak, I didn't go with the recommended motor setup, and I wish I would have. So just keep that in mind when you're building this. I highly recommend the motor. The ESC is quite good as well. I decided to upgrade my ESC to a 60 amp ESC, and I'll show you guys the insides right now. So this is just one of the Hobby King Blue Series, a 60 amp S-Spec battery packs. And I can put a link in the description of this down below. And right now I'm just running a standard Lemon RX stabilizer receiver. And a lot of people ask me why I'm running a stabilizer receiver in there, and I'll tell you the fashion that I use it is that I hate torque roll, and I hate having to deal with torque roll. So what I do is I have on my DX8 Spectrum radio is that I have it on a switch. I can turn it on and off, and I also have a gain control on it as well. So I turn the gain up to about halfway when I'm launching. I have it turned on. I basically will go full throttle. I throw it into the air, and as soon as it's in the air and I have control, I flick my channel 5 switch and I turn it off. And once I'm in the air and you're flying around, you don't feel that torque roll at all. So that's really nice. And then I when I come in for a landing, I turn on the stabilizer again. You might as well have a nice easy landing, right? Because that's when all your mistakes happen, is when you're landing. So I don't mind that. I'm an experienced pilot and everything. I could land it without the stabilizer, but I just choose to not damage my planes in the last moment of its flight. So all right, so I did run a VTX in here. This is just a no-name VTX. I'm not even going to show you guys that. Just standard Fox here antenna, and I have the micro run cam in there, run cam Swift. So you guys can see this. It's just the tiniest little camera. It's probably I'd like about 3 grams or so. It's a good little camera. Now I have only flown this FPV one time, so I'm not going to give you any reviews on the camera yet. As you guys know, I like to work my products before I actually do a full review on them. So which is why we're here today with the Drak. So just talking about the mini Drak, the large size Drak, and the company Right Wing. I happen to be able to talk to Chris Click every once in a while and know about his company. He's one of those guys that just works really, really hard to bring us these awesome products. So that's why I don't mind bringing you guys this kind of extensive review of the mini Drak right now. I should be coming up with a video very soon. I'm going to have Chris Click as a interview on my channel. I want to have him describe to you guys everything that went into making the large Drak and the mini Drak happen for us guys out here. Because, like I said, I think it's one of the best airplanes on the market. Even line of sight, it's brilliant. FPV, it's amazing as well. So hopefully you guys will be interested in that. So guys, one of the things I wanted to touch on about the design of the airplane, it's a stunning design. Everyone that sees it just says like, what is that? It looks kind of like a battle axe, like you can kill somebody with it. But it's all joking aside, it is one of the coolest designs because it's swept wing forward. And I know that swept wing forward airplanes have gone through their iterations. There's been some of them in the past, and they don't fly very well. So it's a cool design. So if that was just a cool design but it didn't fly very well, I wouldn't recommend this airplane at all. So the fact that this airplane looks great, flies like no other plane I've ever flown before, and is strong as hell. That's why I can give this airplane my true recommendation. And I told this to Chris Click the other day. I said, I think everyone needs to own a mini Drak. It's that good, you guys, for all the reasons I've stated already. So guys, on that note, I'm going to sign off now. Thank you for joining me and listening to me gush about my airplane, because I love this thing. It's so good. If you guys haven't checked out the mini Drak yet, go to his website, check it out, give him an email, and I know he has some specials going on. I think you can get like a shirt just like this one right here, which is pretty sweet. I think he has a few more of those left that he's going to be sending out with the next few orders. I can't recommend it highly enough. I hope that everyone gets to fly one, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.